Firstly, thank you very much, Hans Brender, for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and podcast.
I appreciate it. I do it all around the world, therefore it's not a problem. Anyone have a chance to give an interview or have an interview with me?
So I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing and the work that you already did to my audience.
Hmm?
So before that, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Hens Brender. I'm coming from southern Germany, near Stuttgart. So that's in southern area of Germany. And I'm working here since several years, 20 years in the IT. And most of the people around of the world know me as Mr.One Drive because of the last 10 years, I only speak and speak and speak and write and write and write about OneDrive. So the people around the globe, I was with Microsoft on the big audience conference with 30,000 people in Orlando, have spoken there. And although with Ignite the tour, and I was not in your area, but a little more east in Hong Kong. That was the time we have to go to Hong Kong, and I've also speak there for about OneDrive. So that's my past. I'm retiring. No, I cannot retire. I want to bring more opportunities, and I also have here some enterprise companies to give them the chance to learn about OneDrive. It's not like Dropbox and so on, and they have to learn. And I have a slide deck with 500 slides for 2 days to bring administrators on that. And I have also some other things we have done in 2 years ago. I was in Vienna, that's in Austria, and with some other MVPs from Austria, and I give them some feedback about her session. I was in their session, and they talk about bots. And I say, yes, I have a different thing for the future, what a bot is. So they say, okay. 3 months later, they have an idea to, let's say, digitize my person. No, not my person. They want to digitize my knowledge about OneDrive in a bot. So the idea was that we have the knowledge base with artificial intelligence. So the second one is a developer. The second one is AI MVP, most valuable professional like me, but I'm in Office Apps and Services. And we started with Excel and see that's not a good thing. And we started again and again. We have now 2 language databases. That means German. But German to translate in English is not so good idea. Therefore, we have a second one that's an English part. So now you have to change the bot. The bot is running in Teams. So that's the second part. That means if you are in Teams and if you are able to have in Teams about these 1100 things in the App Store, you can say community bot for OneDrive, and then it's installed. So you remember, maybe in the old days with disks, we have handled a program with disk, and you have to import it in a disk drive, and then you install the program, it's running on your PC. Later on, we have not only a disk, a CD, DVD, memory stick or something, from the network drive for the company. But here is a possibility if you're running with these parts that you have to distribute all over the world. Makes it possible with one installation, and you click the people, 530 million people can establish the program, and it's free. We do not collect any data, and you can call these stuff about OneDrive. But I have also to learn. Normally, I spoke to people that doing this stuff for the administration. What can I do for the administration? What's the difference between bots, between Dropbox and Box and so on? And then I have learned, hey, the normal user have different things. He wants to know a little bit more of sharing the situation and so on. So that's the thing I have done in the last 3 years, here also through the pandemic. And I have friends around the globe. So also in India, with several people in Pakistan, in Russia, in whatever all over the world, the normal things are there. And you see in Brazil, that means that's okay. I'm married, I have 2 kids, and I have 3 grandkids, so I'm a grandfather. But thinking you can do that all around the world and it has nothing to do, I can say no. But if companies come and say, hey, are you able to do that for us? They have to pay money. That's a difference between community work and other works and so on. I can say, yes, I can do that. I want to do it. And normal days, I do twice or 3 times a week and put communication with the direct product group about Microsoft. So I know the persons personally, and I say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or this does not work anymore, or there is a bug here, there is a bug there, and they direct me to the right people. You have to know there are 100 people, 115 engineers, they are working for Microsoft, and they will program manager. And therefore, you have a direct connection, and you are still at the top. That makes it also, but it's only OneDrive. So I know a lot of things. I have worked for an American company, and therefore that was in the past to migrate data from on-premises to the cloud. So I was responsible for Germany, and I have also worked in marketing. So I learned a lot and working also for companies making marketing with social media and all these devices. So that's my current. How long I do that? If it's funny to do that, then it's okay. If it's not funny, I will just say, okay, now I do something else. But normally I will do it. I cannot handle it without it.
So why you called as Mr. OneDrive?
Oh, that was a situation. You have to know the MVPs. There are 4,200 MVPs around the globe. That's not a graduation. You can handle it like an Oscar or Bambi or something. It's nomination for your past year. So if you're nominated and they say, yes, you are the right person to do that for special things, there are categories and so on. And what you will happen is, for example, that once a year, all the people who are able to take the flight to Redmond, where Microsoft is located, you can do that. That means, okay, we fly over. I think 50% will come in person. So you have 2,000 MVPs in one city, and then in the morning we go to the campus, and 3-4 days we handle all the news from Microsoft. So you see many people and collect them. And 70, 90 to 150 people are in Office apps and services. That's a category with Exchange, with OneDrive, with SharePoint, and all these stuff around. And that means, yes, the people have some managers, and the managers are also come and bring in the news. So there was a new manager there, and this new manager, I came from the restroom during a break, and some people I know from the past, they say, hey, we have to introduce you. That's Hans. Hans is coming from Germany. We call it Mr.One Drive. He knows everything. So Microsoft gave me this title, and I still have some autograph card. I make it possible. If they give me this name, I make some autograph cards, sign in for the Microsoft people. Though the name is there, therefore they call me Mr.One Drive.
So your present role is about?
My role is, let's say, it's a small company, my own company. I have had in the past development, but now I'm doing not anymore there. So my present role is, it's just a little bit special. If you look at internet, you found different ones. Collaboration, bringing things together, mentoring some people who are able to do that. So that's not a personal role. I'm a CEO, but that has happened there. It's a small company like me, my wife, that's all. But the thing is that you can work around the globe. It's your knowledge what you have, and you can see that. Therefore, that's my role in the past. I was there, so I have no problem with pandemic. I'm still working from home. If companies say, okay, you have to come inside before we have the pandemic, yeah, I come. But now, if I get older, I have to say it's different. Why it's different? The thing is, you have to drive, you have to go there. If you come from Ahmedabad and have to go to Mumbai, it's a long distance. You have to fly or something else. That's the same in Germany. You need time for that. Going to the airport, going to the plane, drive with the plane, going from the airport to the customer, make your situation, see that you can talk to them, and it's okay. And then the next day or 2 days later, you go back. But the time is going between these things. I'm traveling I like to travel, but the time to do a traveling only for business purposes. Nowadays, I have to say, I do it different. I say, okay, I click on the button, I can present. So I have some rooms, I have a second room with all this stuff equipped, means big monitors that you can have all the people there and see what they are looking. I need your eyes that you understand it or do not understand. Not only one person, 6 to 8 person. That's the only thing we have to look. It's not so easy. You need big monitors to see that. But when you see in your eyes they do not understand, oh, I have to repeat it. Normally, I tell the people a story. Why is that doing? The philosophy of OneDrive had nothing to do with the intents, nothing to do with the technique. It's a special thing, and therefore, they have to listen. And I can do that around the globe. So I speak today with you. It's a long distance call with Skype. But anyway, you can do it around the globe. Wherever a company is and has to say, okay, give me your knowledge, tell our administrators what they are doing, what they can handle with crew policies and all this stuff in Windows, then they can call me. It's not a problem.
So how OneDrive is creating impact and how it is being useful and from so many years.
The thing is that we have it in the past. First time I have seen that years ago, I think it's now 20 years with Mesh and all these stuff and Groove. So there was one guy who has to establish a peer-to-peer network, going over the firewall and bring the information from one laptop to another laptop without any server. And see that, I have to say, oh, that's cool. I have an organization during this time, and we don't want to have a server. And that was before the internet was established so big. So I have to say, yes, we can hold that, all the information in a separate space on your laptop and going over the internet without any server. That was the first time. And it calls Groove. That was this type of information comes from Ray Ossie. Ray Ossie has worked for IBM in the old days. No, for Lotus. You know Lotus, the database? So he's worked for Lotus as a programmer. And Lotus was installed for IBM. And this guy has to say, no, for IBM, I do not work, whatever the reason is. So he has gone and has to say, what can I do? And he is installing Groove Networks. So that's a program. We have it heard with all the stuff, but you do not install it in Silicon Valley or in Seattle in the area. There are many, many startups there. In Seattle, you have to know there is Amazon, there is Microsoft, there's Boeing. There are so many engineers we need for that. That's not the best one. So he decided to go with his company to Boston, that's in the east of US. Why? There is an MIT. So the MIT also have good engineers, and he collect that. Bring this information together, have a server, have Groove Networks installed, and it grows and grows. Then another time, Microsoft called and bought Groove Networks. So the next situation. And he was the person who has the position of Bill Gates after Bill Gates want to retire his work. So that was Ray Ossie, and we see the first product about this collaboration tool with Windows 2000. That means you see that in Office. still the date. We have no Office 365. We're still not in the cloud there. So now it works. Then they make SkyDrive. That was a name with 8.1 in Windows and so on. And you see, oh, it's not the best one. We should do that. And on the other hand, SkyDrive, this name was not good because the company in United Kingdom has the same name before they have this name here. So that was the beginning of OneDrive. This name was not reserved. He called that and implemented directly in Windows 10. So after a little bit while, we have so many things. And I think the position to work with other persons, wherever are there on the planet or in the ISS, and it's also possible that we can handle and work together on one document together at the same time. So thinking about a process, in the old days, you need 5 days because guy 1, guy 2, guy 3, each needs 1 day. And then he says, I'm ready, now you can finish my work or continue the second one. And now you have one document and you say, I share it with these 5 guys and you can work simultaneously. And that speeds up processes. So it's implemented in the system with the Windows and also with Macintosh. And that is the thing I have to say. Collaboration, doing a quicker collaboration speeds up money, speeds everything. And that's the philosophy of OneDrive, doing things together. Yes, you can handle also like you have in Dropbox, put the thing in the cloud, but it's not all. The thing is to work together with the Office documents.
And you also worked as a cloud productivity evangelist.
Yeah. So that's the thing. If you have to say, okay, there are so many possibilities to work there, that it's not only to say, okay, we need OneDrive. We need a little bit more. You need the complete Office 365 stack. We need all these stuff, and you have to handle that. That's not in the old days. We have to say, okay, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Okay, now not. Okay, let's say one Outlook also. But the thing is, we have now so many programs like Forms, like OneDrive in these stuff, collect all the data, putting it together with one license we have. And therefore, I think that's a good thing that you can work with this stuff. Also in your country, where we have to reduce the money because the license is not less. You have to, it's not cheap. That means, okay, look for Azure and all the components you can have as a programmer and fitting together. And that's a good idea that we can fit and collaborate together. Therefore, I say it's a collaboration specialist because it's not only these things we have with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now we can have Visio together and all of these stuff. That means all the programs for collaboration are prepared now. Going over the web, have it installed and works.
Great. And you also worked BT10 for 2 years.
Yes, BitTitan, yes, BitTitan, that's the name that I have. BitTitan was the thing. During my career, I have also said, okay, what should I do? I want to have it in a different ways. As I said, I have made with a small company with 8 people working for databases, making databases for different companies. So the best one was, I also have to say, it was with energy. And this company has an old IBM 38. That's very, very old. But they are going to SAP. And there we have to wait because for this company, there is no module in energy. That was in the past. And there I have to say we need several things. And we announced them, okay, we can do that. And after a little while, we see it, they're searching. It was announced to 30 people. And after 2 years, 3 years, 200 people are working with the same database. So we have a SQL installed at the beginning, and we have a cluster for SQL at the end. And that was during the time SAP made the module, and we finished then only for the marketing people. And after that, I have to say, okay, I want to do it a little bit more. I do not have, my English is not so good. I'm speaking not native like you do in your country as a second language. And I have to say, okay, speaking around the globe, I have done so many. During this time, I also have to work for Germany, Microsoft as an independent vendor, making a lot of training, 280 sessions in mid-sized companies here in Germany. And I have to say, I have to look a little bit more. My first English talks was in Brussels. That's a city in Belgium. That's in the northern part from Germany, northwest. And that was my first with 25 people. That was my beginning. And I was so nervous. And the second one was a European SharePoint conference in Barcelona. That's Spain. It's also in Europe, 180 people. Then I have to say, okay, it's different. American ones, it's different. I have to go to United Kingdom, and then I have to speak in Birmingham. So you see 3 cities, and there we have, that's a community event, and we do not want to pay. We have to say, okay, you have to come, and we were paid with a dinner in the evening. So sitting around with the people, and they say, you do not speak it native, your English? I say, no. I never can do that in a typical English pronunciation. And I have to say, yes, you have to do it. If you are fit enough, you can do that. You have to learn. So after that, I have to say, I want to say, okay, let's look. And in Facebook, another MVP say to me, hey, look, there's an opportunity. They are looking for an MVP. MVP? Yes, look for that. That was BitTitan. And after 3 or 4 calls and the thing, one of the guys worked there. He's now at Microsoft, but at this time he was a migration wizard MVP at this time. And he worked in this company. He came from Belgium. He was in my first session. I speak the first time in English. And therefore, it was a quick thing that they said. And the third person who has interviewed with me comes a little bit late and say to me, hey, hello, Mr.One Drive. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, but hello, Mr.One Drive. So you see, the things come up, and after that, I worked. I was 3 weeks in US, learned the things about migration. So migration in these times was not only the SharePoint server. BitTitan was very excellent migrating the stuff with Exchange and so on. I have to learn that. And then I come back to here, and I was alone. Nobody was there. 10,000 kilometers off the other side of the planet. And I was responsible for Europe as a technical evangelist, technical stuff. And that was okay. And I have learned so much from them. And in the latest year, I have to say, they come to me and say, you are also, we need some person to have to handle that. That was the people who has to tell the partners, that was a partner facility, and have to say what is doing with marketing. Why do you not want to work here with marketing? I make a video, I say half a year ago during Christmas party or Christmas holiday, but I talk, and with all the big company in there, and I make a video with my phone and I got it, and one manager saw this before they come to BitTitan, and she says, okay, I want you in my team at marketing. So I put it in the role at marketing, and I learned so much. But you know, every time has an end, and the end was because the US people are not able personally with all the time zones they have. Because if you live in the US, you have to go, let's say one day driving or flying 2 hours or 3 hours to the north, to the west, to the east, or to the south. If you are mid-size, you are still in US, but you have different time zones. So that's the thing we have to learn. It's not like in India, you have Indian Standard Time or something. You have to learn different time zones. That's enough for them. Sitting and make a thing to the other one. So the thing is, that they have to do it very early in the morning, because for me, it's late in the evening. So I put also on Twitter another person that is Daryl Webster coming from Australia. Do you want to work for BitTitan? A tweet. And 3 weeks after that, he was also there. And that was a good thing. He has not the barrier of the language. He has the barrier of the bad time. Because if you do something Friday morning, US time, it's Saturday morning or Saturday night for him during the nighttime. So looking around the thing, that's most critical. And therefore, we have a lot of calls here in Germany. That means, okay, that's in the early, let's say, dinner times, 5 o'clock in the evening. And thinking about India, English people, 4 o'clock, 4 hours, that's in the evening. Every night you have a call and you get some information from Microsoft directly. And that's not so easy to handle that. And during pandemic, we see that during Ignite times or these great conferences were digital and they have to handle 2 different tasks. The same was recorded on the other one. And sometimes they do it also live, but on 2 different time zones to handle the complete world. And now they know a little bit more, but not all people. And therefore, it was a good thing with BitTitan. And that means, okay, I also have, if I go to the MVP Summit, that is 1 week, I spent 1 week before the company that was also near this center, that was near Microsoft, have the spot for the MVP Summit. And after that, the last week again at BitTitan. So I was 3 weeks in US, and that's good for resources because the flying and the jet lag is not so easy, the part. That was BitTitan. BitTitan as a migration company.
Great. And you also a mentor and you are an influencer and you're a cloud productivity evangelist. So how is this?
That's the same. If you are amazing and have to say, hey, I found this stuff in the cloud good for companies, small companies, and for security issues and all the things you have to know, that's a little bit different. People say in Germany, we have GDPR rules that are specialized. We don't trust nothing. Yeah? Therefore, you have to know that. Looking for them during these war times in Ukraine, that's not so easy to handle. Who is trusting whom? That is not so easy. But thinking about the global things make it easily that you have and can handle all the stuff. It's not away from different computers. You need a thing, you need the internet, and then you can work. So therefore, you can work everywhere on the planet, wherever you can do. And that means, yes, I want to do that and give other people the opportunity that you have to say, yes, do not do it in your own. The trust is not so good to have not the right people for trust and all this stuff. Handle that with Microsoft or handle that with AWS. There are possibilities in all directions. Means that you can give your empathy also to other people, to other companies. It's not only a special thing that you have to handle it with technique. The technique is different. I know people that were 3 years as an MVP for artificial intelligence, and then they changed to AWS, Amazon Web Services, and have the same job on there. Now they have a great chance for the rest of your life because you know 2 different possibilities, AWS and Amazon. AWS, Amazon, and the other stuff with Azure from Microsoft. So therefore, cloud is a new thing, and we can handle that. But still, you have to learn and learn and learn. And that's the most life and gift that all the other people that they have to learn. It's not so easy if you start your career and you have to do that. The experience, I do not do it exactly in bits, but I know the room to handle that and see what's going on over the years. And I have to say, okay, let's say if I go out for 1 year, that's at the end, because you have no chance to follow up. And I have to say, full respectfully for all the young people. They have to learn a lot of stuff. You can handle that. You can go to YouTube. You can look how does it works, the how-to videos. But the thing is, the time is changing all the way. Yeah? If you possibility have a thing and it's gone, it will work for 2 or 3 years, and then another technique will come up, and it's old. And sometimes you have to say yes. I have to say for marketing and so on, if your website do not have a date in it, it's not good. Because if you're looking in the internet, your search engine, whatever search engine you want to have, there are so many things that are old and not longer visited. So the problem about all this knowledge will come together must be able to see if you spend something, you have to say, okay, this on this date. Then I see 4 years, 5 years, gone. I do not look for the 5 years old stuff. So therefore, you have to look for the date of that, because the changes in the cloud come so quick and not in these 3 years rhythm with the old licenses with Office or Windows Server or something else. So that's a different, we have to look for that.
Tell me you as MVP.
I'm 9 years MVP. So today I have to for renomination. So if you are an MVP, that's for 1 year, and then you want to renominate. But the people is although there are a lot of people at Microsoft who has to look what is Hans doing, or what is this guy doing, or what this wife doing. Then you have to say, okay, we have a database where we can do and look for them what we are doing. Not the paid stuff. The paid stuff is different. They want to look for the community stuff you do. And then they say, okay, we are reward you for the next year. So each year it comes to one, and you have to look for the database. So therefore I have to listen, fill up a database and give my person in Germany, that's Alice. Alice looked in my Excel sheet and she knows, okay, last year, it goes from March to March, but it's a different thing. Last year, I have spoken in 53 different conferences or small meetups or something else, community stuff. The big thing is although very interesting. If you can speak at Ignite from Microsoft and we have a conference where 30,000 people are there. That's a career step and you have, and Microsoft invites you to do that. But all the other small events with 30 to 50 people, I think last year I have spoken in India 3 times on different small events. But anyway, it works. And I know a lot of people there. You find them again, and hopefully I find these people although come together to the MVP Summit to know them personally. And I know so many people. If you are going in this hotel, I have to say there are 800 rooms and they have 800 people there. And in the morning, if you know there's a registration desk and there are the cars that are going out to the campus. And sometimes the people, I see something coming with a turban and so on and say, okay, hello, Hans. And I do not know them because this is so quickly. My head, I know the person, but not only the names. And sometimes I forgot them. That's the thing you have to learn. So many people want to have your friendship on Facebook and all these social media stuff. And a friendship is more than only the name. You have to know what is he doing and so on, for me.
What you did as a field marketing coordinator?
For what?
Field marketing coordinator in Germany.
So field marketing. Yes, that's the stuff you have to know. Field marketing at BTitan was very interesting because we have heard in US they don't speak German. So here in Germany, I was responsible for the German website or subdomain, if you are and that's what BTitan is doing. Therefore, I do that with a field marketing coordinator. That's the position you have.
And I can see you also worked as a partner technical strategist.
Yes. TPS, technical partner strategist, is a position where you have to do it. The first thing is BitTitan is working not directly, it's working with a partner between them. So they have so many partners around the globe, and sometimes you have to listen to them, what are they doing. BitTitan has done this migration job out of the cloud. So you do not have to install everything. Let's say you have a partner who's going to the cloud, he has an on-premise server. Let's say it makes it easy, it's an Exchange server. So what we need, or BitTitan has needed, is only that you have over installed, or has to be built that the administrator can go into the system via over, Outlook Web Access. So that's all. Then you connect all the data and have to say, okay, I want to have these people, these accounts for with your thing going from on-premise to the cloud, or vice versa. It was also the possibility. But sometimes you have to know what let's say you have a bigger company and you have to follow the sun principle, because you are having here in Germany, and you have one in India, and we have one in Singapore, and let's say one in US. So now you have to listen if you are migrating the stuff. And that means you have to do it in steps. First, you do all the old emails, 80% of the old emails, because you never do touch an old email. If you answer from an old email, it's okay, but people always know I want to have the email. So the first stage is done with the past. And then you have to say, okay, all other things like calendar and all these stuff that are responsible, that will be done in a second or third stage. So that will be done. And if you have 2,000, 3,000 or 10,000 people to migrate, you have to coordinate that as well. And therefore, the technical strategist has to do this job, has to listen what they are doing in the right way and bring it up that the partner can responsibly react to her customers.
And you as a Cloud Ranger.
Cloud Ranger was a different, because I do not know. Cloud Ranger was an external job that we have to do that. So sometimes they switch it because they have no possibility, and therefore we have a contract, and therefore they call it Cloud Ranger.
So it is in German, SQTM PSC GmbH. You worked there for 13 years.
Yeah, secret. Yes, that I was a CEO of this company. We have 30 or 60 consultants, and we are working for Microsoft Germany. So as a vendor. So that's a different one. Microsoft called us, hey, we need a specialist for this and this event, one event. So, okay, let's say you need a specialist for Exchange. It was before the cloud was established at Microsoft. So, and you have to say, okay, we received this message. And the persons we are going to the 60 persons outside via email. We need at this date a specialist from Exchange. Put them together. And if one of the guys respond, hey, I want to do the job, and we have to say, and okay, bring Microsoft directly together with this consultant. This consultant is going to this customer or partner from Microsoft, bring all this stuff, what they handled, and make a one-day job and go back. Listen, you know, the CeBIT fair here in Germany, that was a great stuff where Microsoft is going great and great and greater. That means, okay, you can have that. So we were there with 30 people, 30 consultants, having a station in Beyond. You have, okay, that's SQL Server, that's Office 365, that's the special thing with all that. Therefore, I have my knowledge, because sometimes I have to work as a jumper there. I was not only the CEO. A jumper is a special role. That means during a whole day of a CeBIT fair, from starting at 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the evening, and 1 o'clock, you cannot have it, because on this booth, and there was a big booth with many, many square meters for Microsoft, and then there they have to go to the restroom, they have to go to eat something, they have to have a little break. So sometimes I have to do it. And my position was I have to jump. I have to say, now you are, and you can go out. You have to be back in half an hour or whatever. And what you are doing. Okay, SQL Server. Now I jump here for your position. And sometimes the visitors come to me. Yes, I can give you a SQL Server. Okay, SQL Server is not my problem. I have done it in the past. But next position, another person. Okay, what you are doing? Office 365. Okay, I can do Office 365. So there are so many products at Microsoft. And sometimes I have to say to the person, sorry, dear visitor, may you come back in 15 minutes. The right specialist, you will come from the restroom or back. And that's the thing. If you are saying that you have no idea about what you are presenting here, it's midday, we have to do it, and the people arrange that, and they will come back again soon. So that's a positive. But many positions at the programs and the servers, Microsoft is doing that in the past. That's not a problem. You can learn. You have to learn very quickly, and your knowledge will be bigger and bigger and bigger. And therefore, that we have done. And that means working for a vendor, yeah, is very interesting. You have a red badge, not a blue badge. As Microsoft always say, if you are full-time employee, you are not on the pay line and payroll directly. You will be paid in a different way. And I have done that a lot of years. And that's a lot of knowledge what I have. That's different from the MVP role. An MVP is not be paid for that. Yeah, you understand? So therefore, sometimes you have to do it and bring it forward within 1 hour. But sometimes Microsoft also say, hey, give this customer directly the answer of 10 questions about OneDrive. And I say, no. This is your job, and if you do not, you have to pay me for this. This is a big company, and they have the money. I do not. I'm standing not on the role. It's my time. I do the community work. I do it for you or for other people, in a 30 people or sometimes 10 people on a Saturday, whatever. It's nothing. But for companies, I have to say, no, you have to pay for that. So it's an arrangement we have to do it. That was SQTM, yes, skill quality training and marketing. That was the old days, but it means give the manpower we have with external people and has not only MVPs to the right stuff and give it to a partner of Microsoft. And Microsoft is paying for that.
So, your present job, do you have any particular incident or any particular situation, any particular thing that you cannot forget being in this position?
Yeah, I tell you the story. It was very interesting. So I was in the States for Microsoft Teams. That was called Airlift. That was only 150 people. You can do that. I was flying. I have to pay myself. And I was there. And we have the situation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And if you start morning at 7 o'clock, eating was paid and was done by Microsoft, and you're going out at 5 o'clock, you are so tired. It was always knowledge, transfer. And my flight is going back on Saturday. So I invited myself at Microsoft, driving to the campus on the last day because it was off. And it was a Friday, and they gave me a situation to speak to the engineers. And was done. It was a good situation, no marketing, only technical stuff. 3 months later, on the other side of Microsoft, not in Seattle, now in Orlando, Florida. I was on a hotel on this big event. I was in a hotel waiting in the lobby, yeah, and one guy came to me and he says, "Are you Mr.One Drive?" And I have to say, yes. He has no preparation. And only my name. There is a mail, not only Mr.One Drive. But I said, yes. And he says, okay, I want to say thank you. You were there 3 months ago and have to spoken to my people. And they was so motivated after that. So bringing the comeback and the thank you 3 months on a lobby. We were not coming together. I don't know him and haven't seen there. That was one of the good situations. And the second one was also during Ignite. That was another story. If you are, there are 10 cinemas with 100 to 250 people. And I have the biggest one, and I told them about the crew policies, my top 10 crew policies, many people staying around, and they don't want to have some questions or have a lot of stuff. But in the first row, there was also some Microsoft sitting there. And during my complete career, I get some information from Microsoft, like PowerPoint presentation and so on, because you do not have to do it all of your own. And there was a situation after my presentation, Microsoft came to me and said, we want to have this presentation there because I have made some colorized crew policies. Crew policies have no pictures or something. They do it in the background. They don't need it. But you can remember if you are an X, it prevents something. And therefore they said, okay, that's a perfect thing, what we can also give the engineers back. So Microsoft asked me, can we have the PowerPoint presentation one time? So that's things you say, okay, done. Now I'm good enough to present all this stuff, and therefore that makes it happy. You don't never forget these things if it's happened.
So any memory that you cannot forget as a cloud productivity evangelist?
Yeah, sometimes it's also interesting. You know, you have also some meetups in your country, and some meetups people came together. Sometimes in the past we have the meetups in person. So therefore, it's a good you came to the town, and I have to organize for Bright Skies. That was a company from Hamburg where I've worked for 2 years. And I have to say, okay, in my hometown where I come from, that's Mannheim. That's a little bit north where I now live. And I have to say, okay, I will organize and have some people speaking there. So we got some MVPs and so on. And the thing is that we have only 20 people and 6 or 8 people as speaker. And the thing is that we got during this event 3 or let's say 4 people of them was found and has changed the company after the meetup. So finding the right people for an organization is not so easy. You can say, okay, we do not have 1.3 billions of Indian people, so you have to look for that. And therefore, the thing is that you have to learn different methods to find the right people. And that was a meetup I also not forget. It was not perfect. We eat some pizza, but this was special that the people has to say that was a good thing. I have to change, not the direct way, but after the next weeks and months and go to this company. So find the right people is also a possibility that you have to find. So I remember also that I have to learn for a meetup. I was invited in India on a Saturday, 2 o'clock at my time. It's for Iran. Okay, it's in the evening. Saturday evening, there were 60 people there. And Nandip says to me, okay, you are a coach. It was not presented. Tell them why it's good. And I have to say, yes, that was first-time speaker. They have never spoken to anything. They make a small presentation, they do it live. And after one, I say, yeah, I have learned something. And therefore, I have to say that's a different culture. In Germany, Saturday, yes, it could be. But during these times, it's not so easy to bring all the information there. And it was very interesting, 60 people on a Saturday evening. You never will that. You will have it on the day, during the day. The Saturday and Sunday here in Germany, oh, we do not want to work. You don't understand what I mean. And it's also for the translation that the people come together to learn something, new one. So I have learned something and we have implemented it is in the bot. The technique was a database we have from Azure. And the thing was, what he is doing and showing that he have to reduce the money what the database costs at Azure. And we have implemented for quality service, although the same way in the bot. You see, you can learn if you look for something, if you want to do it and bring the money, no, the time with you, that you say, listen, let's show what a first-time speaker can tell you. It's possible. You learn, implement that to other people, say, hey, this is a good thing. I'm not a programmer anymore. I can read the stuff, but I do not handle that. It's too much. And I have to say, oh, let's reduce it. It does cost so less. Therefore, with this function and on the database we have implemented now, but for a different reason, it's also for the reason that we have to say, if you ask the bot, what can, and you have a score level between a low score level, let's say low, then we have to say it's not good. We have to do it another answer for this problem you have asked. I think that's a part of quality service that we can look for that. Or sometimes the bot never answered the right one because there is no information inside the database.
So you are into this job from last 27 years. What do you like about your job?
I never have studied this. I was at the beginning with a small computer, and the first one, it cost a lot of money during these days. These are past days. And I like to program, to see this stuff. I have to learn the language. There was no internet during these times. So you have to learn MS-DOS. You have to learn CPM. You have to learn the standard stuff. The monitors are 80 to 25 lines, or these carriers where you have the characters in there. But you learn how to program at the beginning, out of books. This is a learning language. You have to learn how to study. And you have to learn BASIC, or you have to learn COBOL, or you have to learn another language. That means that is done during the past. I also have a story about that. In these papers, that was a book about, and one on the page, on the right page, that was the beginning for next loop. So I leave that. But the thing is, if you are going up and to the next, there was less. This page lost. So I have to learn doing with a for next loop what is going. It's not a loop. A loop is a loop. But anyway, there are different loop types. And this loop type was, I have to learn it by doing. And therefore, I know it. And that gives a career as a programmer many, many years. Because I know this, because I have done it. Because I have no possibility to read or to learn from something. No internet in the past. Therefore, it learns, and therefore you see that. So, you got so many things that you have problems and see the processes together. The Germans are always discuss about that, discuss 1, discuss 2, discuss 3 rounds. And sometimes I want to implement a process. And that's like a programmer. If you do and study a little bit of programming, whatever language it is, you learn that you divide it in different small projects and but never forget the end. And the Germans still discuss at round 5, you are at the end of round 10. So therefore, that you learn if you do it with a programming language. And that was a good start for my life. And my people also. I worked at home during the pandemic. Always, a lot of times I work from home because I can do that. My children, so my daughter is around 40, and so you have to learn, hey, she has to learn, and although the grandkids now have to learn, if I am in the room and the lights are on, the red light that I'm in talking with some people, the people has to say, I'm at home, but I'm not able to speak with you. And also all the grandkids has to learn that now in these days. So that's a different one. But the young people also are very open. So the grandkids are 12. So they say, hey, let's do it. And they are also make something happen. They are very modern and they use it as it is. I has to learn something special what is going on, and therefore it's different. So the times are changes. We now have the internet, and internet gives us much more information. We have to decide what is the right one. That's a question, because we have more and more and more, and we have to do the right one. But the ground processes you learn as you study or something, it's still the same. And only the language types and so on are different. And therefore you learn, you can do that very, very easy. That was done during my complete career.
You are an information technology influencer. So how this information technology is influencing the planet and industries and humanity?
The thing is that I think it's not only the technique that you understand something, you are specialized on it. That's one thing. But on the other hand, if you do it a little bit different, and let's say, if you do so many, I'm a cloud fetish. I'm not a cloud fetishist. I'm a PowerPoint fetishist. So I have so many moving slides in there to tell the people what is going on. But if you have so many slides, you have to look, hey, did you know what I have spoken at the beginning 58 minutes before? So you have to look for that. And sometimes the people also sitting there and they are looking with the keyboard and the things, and nobody is here. Hey, I'm speaking to you. So I tell them stories. So you have heard some stories today, and I tell them stories. And sometimes I have to say, okay, now we are ready and we got your feedback. But before you got your feedback, I want to have what was on the slide. We start with security. And you have 10 or 15 people of a company in there, inclusive the IT department chief. And I thought, nobody knows that because they have worked different one. The IT chief has said there was a special thing on the slide, and he says this was there, and I say correct one. So you see, the thing is sometimes you have to tell them the right story, and the people have to story. If I told you there's a function also in OneDrive that has to do with how it is protected, the mechanism, and it's called REST of API, or for Knox. If you hear for Knox, you are knowing, hey, there is a gold. For Knox is also for standing for another title. And if you see that, what is going on, you understand. If you see the video, you have to look for that, for Knox and in Microsoft and for Knox, and you see a video, what is going in there. That's typical, you see that. But the people realize for Knox is safe, absolutely safe. So see that, that's a thing we have to learn. Tell them a story, tell the story what's happened, and the people announce that. And I already spoke about SharePoint as a house. And I came to a customer, and the customer says to me, sorry, we cut from you your SharePoint house. So that's a different one. And he says, okay, SharePoint house, yes. We spoke in the past for our SharePoint farm. You have many servers, and therefore the SharePoint house is still there. I tell them that there's a house, and how do you live in the house, and where the SharePoint admin is although the facility manager of the house. So you can tell it with the people are living in the house and working together. And that's a story. And a story is better than you only have to say, we call it this or this. Because people have to know and have to remember, although after 5 years. No, I do not understand.
So at last,
yes.
as a person who is called as Mr.One Drive, as a person who is called as IT influencer, as a person who is called as IT evangelist, mentor. So what do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I only have so much to do till right now, because I have to say it was impossible. I have seen that you have a lot of videos, and I have listened, I think, 10 or 5 minutes about the interview, but it was a special thing. It has nothing to do. I do not have seen all of your stuff, but one I have listened to that. That's also the same if you have so many possibilities, and I find it great to see that. So there is now he's an MVP, but he comes from Nigeria in Africa. And he says to me, I want to have an interview with you. And I look for him and I do see, okay, he made it several times. But then let's say, come to me, we can talk. And you will see the hour is so quick. We have spoken now 1 hour, if you cut it on the left or the right. And I think it's impossible. You can do that before, because yes, I have seen it a little bit, 5 to 10 minutes, and I see, okay, you keep some questions and he's answering. That's a form of an interview.
So I want your observation as a person who is into technology for 25 plus years. I did masters in software engineering and bachelor's in computer science and engineering. So I live in South India, Hyderabad city. So how these videos are from experts like you who are already in the industry and who are into different parts of the world, collecting the experiences and telling it to my audience, and also me learning it and trying to implement in the work that I'm going to do. So how this is going to be helpful for me absorbing this information?
I think it's a good idea, because companies and around the planet, if you are saying, okay, I'm interested in a job or something, we'll look for that, because you see that the engines are very interesting. We need some information, and you make a footprint, and this footprint is there. You see the lots of information that's why I have on the left and on the right side, and that means that's a good thing that you have a good footprint. So people also say, hey, you do that not during your normal work, you do it in a different way, and you are going around the planet and speak to people that you have to see. So that's a good idea. And normally, as I do, if somebody comes to me with a question or something, or if it's for a company, I always Google or Bing information, see how big is the company, what is the company doing, is this a startup, is this a big company, and that's a different one. And I have also do that with the person looking in the different social media areas. So that's a good thing to bring as you are young, as a good footprint. He will never forget that, whatever you do. But you should know. To my son, I have said, you have to learn. You can drink something, but I will never see a picture of you if you are drunken. You understand? Yeah. All of the people, this and are bad videos. They have not done it. But the thing is, you have to do that, and that's different from people who are always saying, "Okay, I have a bachelor for that or for that." But if you are looking on the internet, you found nothing about them. Which should I take as not only what you have done and give your CV for 2 persons, and I would decide for people who do it, have a good footprint in social media the first. That's the thing I will do. Not always, but most of them, and if you see, do it periodically, not only, let's say, 5 months and then nothing, continuously over a longer period. How long? You do not have to do it once a week. You do have to do it what you are doing completely, and then it's okay. In different roles, speaking to different people. That's a good thing. Therefore, it will help you in your career.
So can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yeah, sure.
And also, can I put this video and audio clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Sure.
So that people can learn from your experience and can take the valuable advices that you give and how the way you worked and how things work for you. And also you said about OneDrive. So also they
you see that here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So do you want me to share any web links of yours so that my audience will get to you?
Yeah. No problem. I will also do a resharing and so on to people. It's not a problem.
So thank you, Hans. Keep going, keep doing what you love, and keep inspiring people and make a world a great place.
Hopefully, yeah. In my age, you have to say hopefully. If you must be healthy. That's the most important thing. And you have to talk to young people, because the young people, can learn from the oldest people in experienced way. Not from they are doing it different. You can do it different. You have to learn that, but we have a long experience. That's the only way. You never will reach the long experience, because if you're got, so I tell them, okay, I know this guy, but I don't know his name. You understand? So that's the thing you have to mind. That's a little bit different. But on the other hand, you found all the things that are repetition of something else, and new languages are doing different. They are doing it. And sometimes I have to say, we have had that 10 years before in a different way. So this experience is there. And sometimes you have to learn not only this stuff, what you have seen, you must be interested also on the left, on the right side, and then you will be good if you take this inputs and say, okay, the rest I can learn. Not in deep. You don't have to do, you cannot have that. You don't have the time. But sometimes you also have to know about that. And that's a good thing to listen. That was during the CQTM time. That was very interesting, because if somebody has to say, okay, I have no consultants, and I have to say, okay, now I will go. I have to learn. And then you see, okay, how long does it take to bring a partner from Microsoft inside Microsoft and have to say that and that? There are also some stories, but this is another time we have to do that. And then I have to say, I learned that. Also for the jumper careers or something, because you know your great spectrum. That is experience. Have nothing to do with the job, and we have to learn. Experience, experience, experience. Therefore, I love this. Absolutely. That makes me young.
Great. Thanks, Hans, for your valuable time.
Okay.
And
I'm waiting
yeah.
to the messages. Thank you so much. Have
Yeah.
this interview with me.
Bye.
Bye.